So in this video, I'm going to be running through all of the foundations of Amazon KDP ads, just setting everything out so it's very easy for you to understand how ads work, the important things that go into making a successful ad campaign, all the basics and the foundations I will cover in this video before we start building on it in more depth in later videos. So the foundation of KDP ads, what they are, how they work, when to use them, and important things to know. So simply put, Amazon ads are a way of paying for more people to be able to see your book. They appear in almost exactly the same way as any other Amazon product, but instead have this sponsored sign next to them. So you can see what book is an ad or is ranking organically. It won't have the sponsored ad, or if it's ranking because it's an ad placement, you will see the sponsored icon here. Apart from that, it shows exactly like any other product would. So where can your book be placed? So your KDP book can be placed at the top of search results. So you can see here, sponsored, right at the top of the search term dinosaur activity book. It can be in the middle of the search results, so in between this organic book. You can see, again, it's organic because there is no sponsored sign above it. It can be ranking in the middle of search results, and also it can be placed on other product pages. So you can see here is another dinosaur coloring book. You can advertise your book underneath it here if it's relevant to the book you want to advertise against. So 3 different places you can place your Amazon KDP ad. And the good thing about this is you have full control over this placement. It all depends on the type of ad you're using and the strategy of your advertising campaigns. Don't worry, we'll cover everything in this section. So, important lessons. KDP ads are a great way of scaling your book sales, and I would recommend them to anybody. But there are a few important things you need to know about them before you start investing your money. So number 1, they do not work miracles. A bad book won't miraculously sell just because you are paying for Amazon ads. These ads must be seen as an addition to organic sales. So of course, you can advertise right at the start of your book launch, and I actually recommend that. But if your book is a bad quality, don't just expect Amazon ads to kind of make these sales for you. Ultimately, if a book doesn't sell well organically, it's not going to sell well with ads. Number 2, don't blindly start using ads. Now, the fact that you're watching this video altogether shows me that you're actually not, hopefully, going to be blindly using ads. Because if you don't know what you're doing with the ads and the metrics, you shouldn't be advertising. Because if things are going well, great, but you actually have no idea why they're going well. And if they're going badly, you have absolutely no idea how to fix the issues. And this can be very expensive. But hopefully, by the end of this, you will know exactly what you're doing with Amazon ads. That is the whole point of this. Don't just jump into ads. Even if you're halfway through this section, just go through the whole thing and then start using ads when you fully understand what to do. Number 3, and I've mentioned this already, there is no perfect ad strategy. Every single person has different goals, different budgets, so stop looking for a one-size-fits-all strategy that you can just go ahead and copy and paste, because it doesn't exist. There are far too many variables at play for everybody. But having said that, there therefore is a perfect strategy for you. And therefore, my goal here is to teach you absolutely everything you need to know about KDP ads so that you can be entirely self-sufficient and create your own ad campaigns and strategies in complete confidence. So rather than just giving you a copy and paste ad strategy, I'm going to teach you the ins and outs of KDP ads so that you can actually come up with your very own perfect strategy for you. Number 4, and this is also a really important one, is you need to keep an eye on cash flow when you're using KDP ads. So for those of you that don't know, you're actually charged for your KDP ads in the same month that they spend, but you won't receive those royalties until 2 months later, just like any KDP sale. So if you spend £1,000 of ads in December and you maybe make £3,000 royalties, just remember that you won't actually get the return on that £1,000 invested until 2 months later, because that's when the KDP income is paid. So especially like I've just mentioned, be very mindful when you're spending big on ads in Q4, because you'll be charged right away and then we'll have to use existing capital to pay for them. The reason I mentioned Q4 is this generally is when you really scale your ads. There's so many more people clicking. Your ad spend will be much higher. So if you don't factor in your cash flow for this, you can get yourself into a bit of an issue. So just make sure you keep an eye on cash flow and you can pay for the ads up front. And then finally, if you're in the UK, you have to factor in 20% VAT for your UK ads. If you're advertising in the UK, unfortunately, you will have to pay an additional 20% VAT on your ads. I'm not an accountant, so I do not know the ins and outs of this. If you want full clarity on these payments, please speak to a professional accountant. There are definitely ways where you can cut back on VAT through limited companies, or if you're spending in VAT in the US, that sort of thing. I'm not an accountant, I'm a KDP expert, so please clarify any of these with your accountant. So, choosing your ad strategy. This is a really important part of KDP ads. So 2 main ways you can run your KDP ad campaigns. And again, there is no right or wrong answer here. It all depends on your budget, your goals, and your overall circumstances. So on a campaign level, you can measure how profitable and successful your ads are within the campaigns themselves, which just only focuses on paid units. So literally just looking at your ads dashboard, is it profitable, yes or no? Or you can look at this at an overall level, measuring how profitable and successful your ads are on an overall level. So you're taking in organic sales as well as paid units, because of course, the more paid units you sell, the more your book is going to rank higher in Amazon search results and ultimately lead to more organic units. So generally speaking, campaign level is a good way to assess how profitable your campaigns are. But generally, the only thing that really matters at the end is it being a positive return on investment for your overall sales? So as I just mentioned there, making sales through your ads will also boost your book's ranking and lead to more organic sales too. So here's an example of exactly what I mean by that, because it can be quite wishy-washy to hear it just explained to you. So let's say you make £2 royalties per book sale. In 1 month, you spend £150 on ads. That brings you back 60 sales, which is £120 in royalties. Strictly speaking, on this campaign level, you have lost £30, which obviously is not ideal. And some people might see this and think, oh no, ads are not for me, wasting too much money. But you have to remember that these extra units that you've sold in a month, so 60 in a month, that's 2 units a day, is going to boost your organic rank on Amazon. So actually, because you've boosted your organic rank, you've actually sold more units than you did in the previous month. So you've gone from 20 units sold organically to 70, which means your organic royalties have also increased by £100, which means actually you've not lost £30. You have lost £30, strictly speaking, in your ad, but your overall sales has led to a £70 profit, which is why it's important, in my opinion, to look at the overall level, not just the campaign level. But again, it depends entirely on your strategy and what you want to use ads for, and also your budget. So moving on to the types of ads, there are many different types of ads you can use for your KDP books. And again, there is no perfect ad type to choose. It depends entirely on your strategy and your circumstances, which is a common theme when you're going through ads. There's no just blanket, one size fits all. It's all tailored to you and your circumstances. So first of all, you have an auto ad. So all you need to do here is you just set a default bid and Amazon will automatically show your book against products and keywords. You also have manual ads, so you get to choose what keywords and products your book is shown against. We'll cover both of these in extensive detail during the course. Don't worry, that's not all the information you're going to get on them. We have individual dedicated videos to auto ads, manual keyword ads, manual product ads. So don't worry, we'll cover them in more detail. So now moving on to understanding the bids. Amazon ads are PPC, which stands for pay per click, which basically means you only pay when your ad is clicked. You don't pay when someone sees your ad. You only pay when someone with intention actually clicks into your ad, and therefore you don't spend huge amounts of money if you just paid per impression. But how do you actually pay for that advertising space in the first place? And the answer is you bid for it. So let's just say you had an animal coloring book for kids and you wanted to have your book shown up when customers search in the term animal coloring book for kids. Really, really relevant, and I imagine you would want your book to show up for this. So you've got 2 different people. Person A has bid 40p for their book to be shown up against this search term, and person B has bid 30p. So whenever a customer searches in animal coloring book for kids, Amazon will see who's bidding the most, and that person will be shown. The more you bid, the more times you're going to be shown, and the higher up the search results you're going to be shown. The less you bid, probably going to be shown further down in the search results or not shown at all. So who's going to win this bid? It's going to be person A. So your bid is therefore the amount you're willing to pay for someone to click on your ad. That's how you should see it. There's different bidding strategies. I'll cover those again later on in the course. But ultimately, your bid is the amount that you're willing for someone to click on your ad and how much you're willing to pay for that. So like I've said, the higher your bid, the more times your ad will be shown, and then hopefully more clicks, but the more it will cost you per click. So it's all about finding this balance of your bid. So with all that in mind, how do you actually track this performance of your ads? And simply put, it's through different ad metrics. So you can see here, these are the ad metrics that I use to track my books myself. And in the next lesson, I'll go through a full tutorial of exactly how to understand all of these metrics in complete detail, which gives you full control over your ads, because you can actually see exactly what your ad is doing, why it's going wrong, what different levers you can pull. And that's all down to understanding the metrics, which I will talk about in the next video.